Good evening and welcome to Who's Right. I'm Sandra McFadden and we're happy to have you here tonight. We're at a private home doing a fundraiser for Senator Luther Olson of the 14th District here in Wisconsin, and our honored guest tonight is Brad Courtney, and we're so happy to have you here, Brad.
Thank you for having me.
Nice to see you. Yes, I know you've been busy and running around like crazy with these recalls going on. And I know that everyone is anxious to know how all the senators are doing. So I thought maybe you could give us just an update on kind of where the polls are and what each one is doing right now, if you could. Would you?
Sure, I'd be glad to do that as best I can.
Okay, like Senator Coles, how's he doing?
He's doing well, and I think he's going to come out ahead. He's been working hard, raising money, and that's a Republican district, and I think Senator Coles will be fine.
Oh, good. Glad to hear that. How about Alberta Darling?
I'll be real honest. That's my district, so I take a special interest in that one. And Alberta Darling has been one of the hardest working candidates I've ever seen, and she could write the book on how to beat a recall.
Really?
She's raising a lot of money, but they've had a victory center up and going since last March. They're really identifying voters, and she too will be. She will do well. But again, I should stress we need to have turnout, Republican turnout, in all these districts.
That's right.
Like I told you earlier with Rob Coles, he will be fine, I think, if all the Republicans turn out. We can't take anything for granted on August 9th or August 16th.
You're right. They have to go vote. People have to go vote.
We have to go vote. And the thing is, the unions, they want Republicans to stay at home. I mean, that's the only way they can win most of these races. If Republicans just say, "Hey, we're too busy. I don't want to fill out an absentee ballot. I'm going on vacation." That's the only way. Complacency will be the thing that will defeat our candidates if that were to happen. And we're not going to let that happen.
Oh, no, that would be a shame. That would be such a shame. Okay, so we got to get people out to vote. That's what we're doing tonight.
Right. And Alberta, getting back to Senator Darling, she's been working hard. And again, with Alberta, she's running against the state rep Sandy Pash. And really, there's a clear contrast in the candidates. Alberta Darling came to Madison as the senator from that district. They had a $3.6 billion budget deficit. They tackled that. They solved it, and they're not going to be raising taxes at all. On the other hand, you have Sandy Pash. She was the one who got us into this mess in the first place when she voted for all of Jim Doyle's tax-killing bills. And she was they were in control, the Democrats were in control, and she was a member of the legislature that voted for Jim Doyle's last budget that got us into this mess in the first place. So I think Sandy Pash is very vulnerable.
Sounds like Alberta is going to take that district then.
Again, we need turnout. We need everybody to get
turnout,
voted.
yeah.
Correct.
Okay. How about Sheila Harsdorf?
Sheila,
how's she
out
doing?
In western Wisconsin,
yeah.
She's working really hard against a WEAC hack. Sheila's protest candidate up there, almost knocked off the Democrat candidate in the primary, and so I think she's vulnerable. But again, it's all about turnout. They are making thousands of calls up in Eau Claire, thousands of calls in Hudson, identifying Republican voters. They're going door to door. They just need those fine folks to come out and vote on August 9th.
Okay, so Sheila's working, they're all working so hard.
They are working very hard.
God bless them. Luther Olson, who we're here for tonight in our 14th district, how's he doing?
Luther's in a close race, but I guess, again, if we get our turnout mechanism going, we will win, because there's such a clear contrast with Luther Olson and his opponent, Fred Clark. Luther stayed in Madison, did his job. Again, he came to Madison, they had a $3.6 billion budget deficit, and they had to make some tough decisions, but it will be proven successful. And Fred Clark, he was a state rep. he actually dug us into this mess that, ironically, Luther's digging us out when he voted for, again, all of Jim Doyle's tax killing or job killing bills that, we've lost so many jobs under Jim Doyle. And in fact, in the last 6 months, the Walker administration has seen almost 40,000 jobs created in Wisconsin. And those are taxpayers, new people added to the tax rolls, family supporting jobs.
It's amazing what he's done.
It's amazing, yes.
Randy Hopper.
Randy Hopper, again, a courageous senator. He took the tough vote, and he only won his last election, or his first election, by 100 votes, running against the same person that's running against him now. And again, Randy, knew it was going to be a tough vote, but he made the right decision. And again, you really have a choice. You can vote for his opponent, and we can take a step backwards. Another Jim Doyle advocate, that got us into this mess. Or you can vote with, so it's really a choice of going, do we want to go forward with Governor Walker's job-creating agenda or go backwards with Jim Doyle's job-killing initiatives?
Exactly. So we just are keeping our fingers crossed for Randy Hopper. But again, it's the will they come out and vote?
Right.
Will they show up to the ballot? And it's August. It's mid-August.
It's August in the Fox Valley. A lot of people are on vacations. Families are trying to get their last vacations in before school starts. And what's so amazing is, in one way, it's too bad the elections weren't held in early September, because when many people go back to school, they're going to see very few changes. There are going to be very few teachers laid off. The unions were crying for months, all that these massive layoffs all over the state. But those districts that embrace the tools that were given to them by Governor Walker and the legislature, those districts like Kalkana in the Appleton area, they're actually being able to they're actually able to hire more teachers, reduce classroom size, and they actually have money available to give out for merit pay increases. So I mean, that district has embraced the initiatives. Where you look at Milwaukee, the Milwaukee Public Schools, they voted to extend the teachers' contracts, and now they're having massive layoffs. And then, the real people that are going to be hurt are the students.
That's so sad.
Right.
That is just too bad. And what about Dan Kapanke in the 32nd District?
Well, Dan's a fighter, and Dan has been behind this whole race, and really unfairly, because again, he made the courageous vote that got us, out of this mess. And I think as time has gone on, people in his district will realize the sky hasn't fallen like the unions have said it would. And again, they're going to see very few layoffs across his district. And in December, which unfortunately will be way after the election, people are going to see very little change or increase in their property tax bill. So Governor Walker and all these brave Republican senators have really gotten our financial house in order, the state's financial house in order, where now businesses are wanting to locate to Wisconsin. Our business climate has drastically improved. In fact, CEO Magazine did an interview of all the many CEOs across the country, and every year they do that, and typically Wisconsin's in the highest percentile, but we went from 41st to 24th, 17 spots.
Astonishing.
We jumped as
in 8 months.
Yes, and in fact, it's because they see good things happening, and they see certainty, good things coming out of state government.
Yes.
And they just and because of that, again, almost 40,000 jobs have been created in Wisconsin.
Right, yeah. It would be a crime to see our senators lose. We need to win. We need to keep control of the Senate.
Well, again, what we really need to do is have our GOP activists get out to the polls, vote, go register absentee ballot, or go vote at your local polling place early. Because again, the unions want people to the unions want people to not vote.
Right. I know they've outspent us in the advertising market completely, and how is that affecting the polls out there?
Well, the unions they're going to probably outspend us 2 to 1. Where I've heard of estimates they're spending $20 million.
Yeah.
And we're going to be competitive. We're getting our message out. And again, but we don't have paid people, working the phone lines. We have volunteers from county parties across the state using their own time, on their
Sure.
own time.
Yeah.
Trying to identify Republican voters and remind them to get to the polls.
Thank you so much for being here. You've been a wealth of information, and we appreciate you coming. You're always just full of information for us.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, you're welcome. And if you have any questions, go to whosright.org and check us out there. And in the meantime, we'll see you soon.